So in this video, I'm going to talk about what to do with a large cash inheritance and what not to do, which is what most people do, is the not to do part. So get a pen and paper if this is you, or it's going to be you, right? This is really important. If you're going to inherit a bunch of money and you don't have the strategies I'm going to talk about, it's like a lottery ticket and you're going to lose it all. 99% of people who inherit large cash or lotteries lose it all because you don't do exactly what I'm going to tell you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 4 things. Number 1, just the misconception of it, right? Of inheriting that kind of money. Number 2, what's the structure you should have to receive that money? There's a legal structure and vehicles to receive that kind of money. Number 3, big one, taxes, right? And how that money that's coming to you is going to be taxed. And number 4, what is the name and the qualifications of the person who should be helping you? Let's begin. Number 1, the misconceptions of an inheritance. It's like a goodie bag, right? And here's how most people receive their cash inheritance. I call it the little surprise basket. So the surprise basket is mom and dad don't talk. They don't talk to the kids or whatever relationship you're having. But whoever's going to get the inheritance doesn't know about it until the person's gone. I am in 100% disagreement, and any organized wealth planning, legacy, generational wealth planning person would agree with what I'm talking about. You need to organize the next generation or who you're going to give your money to. Even if it's a charity, really you're just going to hand them a bunch of money, cash, and hope they do what you want to your wishes. You worked your whole life. So now I'm speaking to the person who's actually going to be giving it. You worked your life to organize this money, invest this money, create this money, and you're just going to hand it to unorganized or not known plan. I think it's the most irresponsible thing you could do. So to that point, the biggest misconception is, oh, I'm just going to get this money. It's going to be easy. No, you have no idea how many clients that I have that got a huge inheritance. I'm going to tell you a story in a moment. You're just going to be shocked that a family could be this disorganized, and I see it all the time. So unfortunately, I don't tend to get you as a client on the front side of this conversation. I tend to get your kids after you've handed them a mess. And even if it's super organized, if they're not educated, it's still a mess because they just want to spend it on lifestyle. So I take this conversation extremely serious. And the surprise basket, just so I'm clear on that definition, is you have passed, or if you're receiving it, somebody has passed, and you're sitting while the will's being read or the trust is being disclosed, and you're like, yay, I got my little part. Really bad planning. So not a fan of the surprise basket, which is an unread plan or undisclosed plan until after death. So what do you do? So first of all, you get organized. So what structure should you receive this in? Well, number 1, ideal estate planning is in trusts. It's in revocable and irrevocable trusts. There's 2 kinds of trusts. Revocable is a family living trust. And what that does, it keeps you out of probate court. And I'm a huge fan. I don't care if you have a tiny bit of money or a whole bunch of money. If in your state or province, depending on where you live, this is a worldwide problem, you're going to receive money. If you don't have it in a trust, wherever you live, it'll land in probate court, which means they're going to take a whole bunch of probate fees that can be as high as 50%. So you could be passing on $1 million. A lot of money could be left at the state level. So why would you do all this work to leave it to the state? Oh, you forgot they could become your partner through probate. So let's not do that. Let's put it in a proper trust. So life insurance gets funded by the trust, right? It funds the trust when you pass. The entities that you own are held in trust. If you want them completely away from any creditors, you put them in irrevocable trusts. And then those are estate planning trusts. So yes, I have somebody on my team who are willing to give you an absolute one-on-one walkthrough and help you get organized. This is such critical information. So those of you who are going to receive, right? First of all, let's have a conversation with mom and dad or the family on what do they want? What do they want their wishes to be? And I am a huge fan of generational wealth planning, which even from when you're little, you're going to read this in my How to Make Your Kids Millionaires book. You need to have a conversation about money. Like the family needs to know, how are you making it? How are you spending it? What are your assets? What are your liabilities? What do we have to deal with? And when you pass, what do you want to do? Do you want us to divest in real estate, which means sell it all? If you sell it all, you got a big tax consequence. I mean, you've got massive financial decisions, and can you make them from where you sit? Most people know. See, here's the problem. Most people get a cash inheritance, spend it like a lifestyle, get taxed to pieces on it, and then wonder what to do later. It's nothing different than a lottery. My goal is to teach you how to use it purposefully. And if you really do estate planning right, you're not just going to get a big lump of cash. You're going to get entities, right? And an investment plan that you then as the next generation need to execute. So the money just doesn't get blown and squandered away as lifestyle moves. And yeah, if you want to do some lifestyle stuff, that's fine. But there's an asset base that goes beneath it. So the structure is entities, trusts, and irrevocable trusts that need to be in place when you do this. And ideally, before the person passes, you're really clear on their wishes and what to do to invest that money. Ideally, it's invested before you go. So before I continue on to our next few points, I want you to know I take this fairly seriously. I'm doing videos every day. I'm doing content every day. And I keep talking about my team. They're going to be included in a lot of our content. So please subscribe. The way you're going to never miss an episode, you're never going to miss videos and content that's critical, is subscribe. And then you can take this back to the family members and share just this one if this applies to you. And at some point it might apply to you, so you want to subscribe and stay with me. Now, as we go to the third point, this one's a big one, and it is a volatile one. It's taxes. Estate taxes right now, you can pass $11.7 million on to your heirs. So if you have 2 kids, you're passing on 11.7 and 11.7. Without any tax. Now, our lovely new people in Washington, can't even call them a president, are attacking this. They've attacked it before, and it's crazy. So they want a total of 3.5 to pass through with no tax, which is insane, because don't tell me that Biden doesn't have a multi-million-dollar, God knows how international scheme in his life. That is like, why would he do this? It's insane. You're taking 20 to $23 million that can pass through currently without being taxed, and he's reducing it. Why? Makes absolutely no sense, because it's going to affect him. He's going to pass probably soon. And what's going to be left for his kids? I mean, really, out of this, you're going to be taxed on top of it. It is critical that the structure that we talk about with you gets set properly. The entity structure, so you have depreciations and deductions, the trust and the way the trust is being funded by insurance or funded by the entities, how this all works together is critical. Who you talk to, point number 4, it's an estate lawyer. I actually have an extraordinary team in every state in the United States. I have Canada and Australian resources, and UK and South Africa and Dubai. I have teams all over the world that can help you get this set right. So if you just talk to a lawyer without a lot of high net worth clients, might have issues. If you just talk to a stock, what I call, mill, where they're just cranking out, family, living trusts on a regular basis, you won't have the advanced strategies. So these are estate lawyers. They're estate administrators that will help you and guide you to put this together properly and legally. So when you pass or when you receive, you manage the taxes, you manage the way that it comes to you, and you get it done right. The worst thing you can do is just blow cash because you got an inheritance. I can guarantee you, if I'm the mentor of those people, I'd say, why would you pass on that kind of money to an uneducated group of people? I have clients that literally the parents are worth millions and millions of dollars. And if their kids are not mentored in this conversation, they don't get any of the money. It is that critical. Why would you do this much work to pass on money to an uneducated group? Now I'm going to tell you a story about a woman. Her name is Diana. She's going to hate that I did it. I talked to her father before he passed. And I said, you don't even have your real estate. I think he had 20-something properties in California, not even in an LLC, not even in a trust. I mean, the whole thing was really, really messy. They were being taxed really high. He just didn't want to deal with it. And I said, when you pass, this is going to go to your kids. Well, he passed, it went to the kids, and now the kids are in litigation. So you just started a family war. He could have prevented all of it, and we're helping coach the kids through it to not sue each other. How do you fairly untangle this, and how do you fairly put it back together? So I have a lot of experts on our team that will walk you and walk your families through these issues. They're significant. And the other side of it, I got to tell one more story before we go. And actually my fun saying, a man is not a plan, came from this. It actually came from a lot of women because women outlive men 9 to 13 years or something like that. It's like known statistic. So what's interesting is that these women received huge, inheritance after their man passed, but they didn't know anything. They didn't know where the real estate deeds were. They didn't know where the titles of vehicles were. They didn't know where the stock certificates were. They didn't know where anything was. And the man is not a plan. The man didn't inform the family of anything and said, you know what, my buddies will handle it. Well, what I watched the buddies do was sell off the real estate so they could get commission, sell off a bunch of different things so they could get commission. So basically they just took from the estate, left a huge tax burden to the woman who ended up having to sell the primary home. Don't be those family, don't be those people. The goal of proper estate planning is everybody knows. Right? Everybody in the family knows, and it's completely planned, so there's no surprise basket at the end. So what I'm going to do is not give you a gift directly. I'm going to give you the gift of my team. I've spent 20 years building this team, extraordinary team of experts that can help you. You got to call my office, the number's below, 775-588-9200, and I leave it that way. Yes, we have an 800 number. We'll put that on there too, but really you want to call in the office and specifically say, I just watched Loral's YouTube video on inheritance and estate planning and getting a cash inheritance. I need to talk to somebody, and we will get you to a team to have a one-on-one, because this is a private and very, very specific conversation to you.